You better than Duncan?
No, Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward ever.
He had a lot of help.
He did, but he was dominant.
But what's he do better than you?
He's a better post-up player because it's easier for him to score.
Yeah, but you were a better scorer.
Only because I got the ball more.
Well, I think it's going to go down to basketball people as one of the best all time. Tim's game is quiet. He's not flashy, and so there's probably going to be people that overlook him because of that. But when you look at his numbers in the rings, the things that he's accomplished, he's going to go down as one of the best.
Now, you happen to run into Shaquille O'Neal on your first trip to the finals with the Nets in his prime, then Tim Duncan the next year in his prime. How dominant was Duncan in those NBA finals?
He was unstoppable. That's why he's going to go down as one of the best. You talk about Shaq. I would put Tim Duncan in that same category. He's a guy that, Mr. Fundamental, kept things simple. He just is a great teammate, a great player, great person. And so when you have those ingredients and a champion, you just want to be a part of that and have the opportunity to play with him. But I only got to play with him in All-Star games and in Team USA. So unfortunately, I didn't get to play with him with the Spurs.
Big fundamentals. Big fundamentals.
He's a very aggressive player, very smart player. Shoots the jumper well, plays inside well.
This guy is the big fundamental, but he is everything that you want in a basketball player.
Well, when people ask who are the greatest big men to ever play the game, you never hear power forward's name. So I was under the impression that big men was always centers. I've heard you say many times the greatest big men, Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell, maybe Akeem, then maybe me. Now, you hear a lot of other people say Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward to ever play the game. I agree with that. I always thought it was, as a player, if you're the baddest guy in the league, you should be MVP. Now it's, his team is in first, his team is in fourth.
I don't like that, because that's not a real MVP to me.
Thank you.
But when you look at a guy that I'll say is putting up crazy numbers, doesn't really have the talent like some of these elite teams have, and he gets his team into the playoffs, whether it's the 7th or 8th seed, that's an MVP to me, because if you take him off of that, they don't make the playoffs. I had a year like that, my 2003 year. I'm not playing with no other All-Stars. I think we got to the 6th seed, and I'm averaging 32 points. You take me off of that team, we're a lottery team.
Who won the MVP that year?
Tim Duncan got it that year. And you take him off of the Spurs, they still make the playoffs.
Whoa.
They make the playoffs.
No,
yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't, because a lot of those guys got their success off of him.
Bruh.
Yeah, he got double. He kicking out Ginobili. No.
They have a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, Tim Duncan.
I'm saying, without Tim Duncan, they still are a playoff team.
No. They win games, but they don't make the playoffs.
Big.
Get him, T-Mac!
Tim Duncan made Ginobili and Tony Parker. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah. We always argue like this. He used to come to my house in the summertime, we just argue.
Listen, always.
Always. Ever since he's 18 years old. There was nothing you could do to intimidate him. He wasn't ready to play against Tim Duncan. He would destroy you.
Against Nowitzki. 3 seconds. Duncan shoots, scores, and the Spurs win.
He was one of the best all-around players, I think, that we have seen. And, of course, on the defensive end, he was a force.
He's done so much for the game, just for the Spurs as well. He's obviously somebody that, I can say I kind of looked up to watching them play the Lakers a lot, growing up in LA, watching the Spurs play the Lakers, but legendary career. And he's probably, at least in my opinion, probably the best power forward to play the game. Just because of different things he did, championships, and the level of integrity he played the game with.
Who do you think is the best big man you've ever faced?
Best big man?
Yeah.
They all have different skills. Tim Duncan, he's really good because he's smart, really smart. He knows the system, Spurs system, so he's very difficult to guard. But the other one is Al Jefferson. Al Jefferson's really tough to guard. One-on-one is really difficult. Really difficult.
I wish I could be there. And obviously with Timmy D, I've always had a big respect for him. Even as, at a young age, I remember my dad preaching to me, he's the best power forward ever. He's the best power forward ever. And that's where that appreciation grew for me. And just understand the sacrifices that he made through his career, and the longevity of the winning, and probably one of the best careers in this league.
A guy like Duncan, you gotta throw out all the X's and O's. You can't look at too much game film. The guy with his skill always gonna bring something different every night. You just gotta say to yourself that you gonna just go out there and play as tough as you possibly can, and you gonna live with the outcome.
Duncan is so smooth. He moves like no other big man in the game today.
Tim, he's one of the hardest people to guard because he doesn't get rattled. You can't speed him up.
Tim Duncan cannot be stopped.
He's on the money. Tim Duncan's taking charge now. 27 for Duncan.
Most guys you can frustrate or you can do different things to get them out of their game, but Tim, you can't do that.
Get in there. I don't know why you're reaching.
I'm glad you put the ball out there. I got to try.
So who's harder?
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
Like, most guys I could speed up and make you play at my pace. I could frustrate you. I could do this and I could do that. But with him, it didn't matter. Because he was going to play at his own pace. He was going to get to his spots. He was going to shoot the shot he wanted to shoot. And I just had to make that shot as tough as possible. You know what I'm saying? With a guy like KG, like, I know what he's finna do, so I can make him do something different. Well, like, he might make a tough shot, but I can manipulate the way he took shots and things like that. Because KG dominant right shoulder guy. I know this. Playing me, you can't go right shoulder. I'm sitting on it. You might go every now and again, but you know that I know this is the way you want to go. So I'm shading that way, so you can't bring the ball that way. You gotta go do something different. But with Tim, the only thing Tim knew that he couldn't play with the ball down here with me. So when Tim went to make his move, he made it. Like, if he played with the ball, like in one game, I stripped Tim Duncan 7 times in one game. Like, I heard Pop laid into Tim after the game. Like, stripped him 7 times. After that, he made it tough for me to get him again, you know what I'm saying? Because he knew when I'm playing him, I got to go to my move. I can't f around with this ball. Most guys, you can do this and you can't jab on me. You better go. I'm saying, like, because I'm gonna put that hand down, I'm gonna swipe and I'm hitting, like, so tough, like, and Tim made me start, like, realizing I got to do my work early. Like, defensive, like, I got to meet him at the free throw line. He made me turn my brain on, because my physical I was there physically. Wasn't go bully me, wasn't. So now he thinking. So now I gotta think it.
I was learning from him. He came in with a tremendous skill set. I was incredibly impressed. I cannot overstate that really within 2 years, he was one of the top players in the league.
Oh, man, what a finish. This guy is everything that you want in a basketball player.
Easier to follow because the franchise player was leading by example. His leadership and his mentorship was huge for the whole organization.
Tim Duncan collected 2 more championships in 2005 and 2007.
Everything was about what it took to win. Those titles obviously don't happen without him.
Then, in 2014, at 38 years old, Duncan would cement his status as the centerpiece of one of the NBA's all-time great dynasties.
Duncan for the finish. Once again, spectacular.
It's time to celebrate, San Antonio. The Spurs have captured their 5th NBA championship.
If you thought because Timmy didn't show a lot of emotions or had a poker face a lot that he wasn't a great competitor, nothing could be farther from the truth.
He can control the game without the ball. He can control the game on both ends of the floor.
Great run, Malik.
You can't stop Tim Duncan, you know what I mean? He's done it for so long. He's a smart basketball player. He's so skilled on both ends of the floor.
Tim Duncan, people would not see him verbally saying stuff because he wasn't talking sentences. Timmy would hit you in phrases. Got you. Ooh, almost. This the worst right here. Nice try. Like subtle shit. No gangster shit, no real hardcore shit. Just subtly to just back your ass up and put you back in like this over here. Like, you know, and then what really pissed me off was when the trash talking wasn't affecting him. So now you spending all this energy trying to rile this up. You done forgot about your own game. You forgot about that they coming to you that you're supposed to. And then that's when I actually quit talking trash to Timmy because he wouldn't respond or he wasn't giving me the reaction I was getting. I can't really get hype off. This nigga ain't really giving me nothing. Look at now, start, doing a little, the shoulder shit and he won't react to that. Yeah. Next thing you know, Timmy got 20, 15, like I'm in here like, so then I started changing that, you know what I'm saying? And then it was natural too. Sometimes you went to it, two dogs meet in the middle and it be what it is. So,
Well, I mean, it's been fun competing against him for all these years. And, he and I had an opportunity to have some great dialogue tonight. And just, it's been so much fun competing against him in that organization. And, I've truly, truly enjoyed it. It pushed me to really fine-tune and sharpen my game.
Right before Tim Duncan was drafted, he was in Charlotte at a basketball camp, and I watched him work out for about an hour at the John C. Smith University downtown Charlotte. I remember walking in and he was hanging off the net, just standing there underneath the basket. I'm like, dang, that dude's tall. Didn't really know. Like, that was just before any of his NBA success happened. So that's like my only Tim Duncan story, but just being in the same gym with him at that point before all that happened was pretty cool.
You see any similarities in?
Probably like 8.
You see any similarities in the way you carry yourself and lead and the way that TD does it?
I mean, I don't know him behind closed doors in the locker room and stuff like that. I don't know what his mentality is like or what his demeanor is like, but on the court, he's very about his business, very subtle. The way I know he's a lead by example kind of guy, but I'm pretty sure he's vocal. So I don't know, but when you see a guy play and how hard he plays every single night, that says a lot about them as a person and just how much they respect the game and how much they want to get out of it and lead their team. So follow that for sure.
I mean, the NBA is fun. I mean, you have a lot of young players who are starting to come into their own and learning more about their game and understanding the sacrifices of becoming team players, and learning how to do that within a structured system, from KG to Iverson to Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, Duncan, all these guys that I named have learned how to involve their teammates. And you still got some young players on the horizon who's going to continue to do that. Vince, those players are starting to understand that you don't do it by yourself anymore.
Get asked the question a lot, and it's just always surreal for me when my name is associated with any of the greats. And obviously, we know how great Tim Duncan was in this league. With that franchise, I had my battles with him. Also was a teammate with him in the Olympics, and just seeing, what he was able to accomplish, not only in the regular season, but more importantly in the postseason. And he lived in the postseason. That was his address. So for me to be linked with the great and the big fundamentals, it means a lot. Not only to myself, but my hometown, and whoever has been following my career.
Overall, you can both tell me, what was it like to play against Tim Duncan? And Richard, you go first because you also played with him.
Honestly, going back to Karl Malone, when Karl Malone, this is random, he said, look, I wasn't just playing against Michael Jordan, I was playing against the Chicago Bulls. That was the thing about Tim Duncan. You weren't just playing against Tim Duncan, you were playing against the San Antonio Spurs, and they had David Robinson in that first group. Then they had so many other talented players. So Tim Duncan was always a focal point, but you could never truly focus on him. That's kind of the benchmark for a great organization, is when you have a great player like that you can't key on, and he's able to dominate you. And that's what makes him and that organization so great.
Richard, RJ, we're not talking about the Spurs, brother. We're talking about Tim Duncan. We're talking about the greatest. No, I don't want to hear about the system. Tim Duncan made that system, okay? We're talking about the greatest power forward of all time. True. By the way, sorry, KG, you're number 2 on my list, my brother. I still love you. You're number 2 on my list. But when you talk about Tim Duncan, he was a solid killer. You could never rattle him. He had hot sauce running through his veins. I tried so many times during those battles with Oklahoma City and the Spurs to try to, throw an elbow at Tim Duncan. He would never get rattled. He would just always give me that work. I remember one time in the Game 6 in the Western Conference Finals, I went to the extreme of even pushing Tim Duncan. He didn't get rattled. You know what he did? He gave me 28, 15, and 5 with the win and sent us home.
Tim Duncan and his great combination of humility and confidence. And Tim was an amazing teammate because he was so dominant. He was such a great player, but he took everything on his shoulders. And I remember we had a game one time where we lost the game, it was a close game, and he comes into the locker room. He's like, guys, that's my fault, man. It's my fault. I got to be better. And he had like 39 points and 18 rebounds. And I'm looking at the stats, like, Tim, you played pretty well. I got to be better. And it was genuine. It was genuine, and that's why I love Tim. So guys like that who take on that burden of the team's success and are willing to take the blame, even when everybody knows how good they are and that we never would have had a chance in the first place, if they hadn't done their thing. That's powerful leadership.
How are you, sir?
Great Tim Duncan.
Oh, the great Bill Russell. I just heard about the award. That's awesome. Unbelievable. That's unbelievable for the award, not for you, obviously. It's an honor to have your name on there. That's great. That's great.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
If you had a choice to start a team with either Tim Duncan or Shaq, who would you start it with?
I don't know.
It's a good question, isn't it?
Yes, because now they're both tall guys.
They're both franchise players.
And they're both great players. But they, like Wilt and I, they both do completely different things.
Exactly.
Tim Duncan played more like I played.
Right.
I had a lot of fun talking, just listening to you talk about your philosophies of the game and your teammates and life. Obviously, it's kind of eerie, some of the similarities we've had in our lives and kind of our careers. I love this. I love that you're a basketball mind. You never know that about people until you're able to sit down and talk to them. So that was a lot of fun learning that about you.
Well, we have so much in common. I find it very flattering. This is the way I feel about it. Do you know the name Jackie Robinson?
Absolutely.
The day after he died, his wife called me and said, I want you to be a pallbearer at Jackie's funeral. I said, of course. I said, but could I ask why? Why me? And she said, you were Jackie's favorite athlete because the way you conducted,
cool. That's pretty cool.
and I feel the same way about you. You've played hard, played smart, won championships, and I don't think you finished with that yet.
I'm not.
Really?
I want to win one more trophy. I got your name on it.
At least one more.
Scotty, before I destroy this, would you like to take a shot?
I like everything that he did here. If I was to change anything, I'll make this guy. Shaq is a 5. KD is a 3.
No, it's just the top 5. It's just the top 5.
I'm saying, I'm trying to position them.
Okay.
I would probably, and I know people will hate me for this, but I'll probably go with Tim Duncan. Thank you, my man. My guy.
Now, I'll say this. Kevin Durant's an interesting pick if you're trying to assemble a team because actually he doesn't need the ball. That's how great he is, and he can be a great complementary piece, so it's an interesting pick. Obviously, you have to have MJ. I'm not going with Shaq at the 5. I'm going with Hakeem because Hakeem could play any style. Like, think Tim Duncan. The only thing Tim Duncan could do better than Hakeem is pass. But by the end, Hakeem was a great passer, too.
Let me come back to both of y'all with your picks. I like them both. I respect where y'all coming from. Here's my issue. When we talk about Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, even though he was absolutely positively phenomenal, because of what he did with the shake and everything else, he would take the ball away from some of these other components. That would be my issue with
But he don't have to. And he could lock you down on defense and run the floor.
With Shaq, the ball, drop, step, yam. With
Shaq is going to clog up the middle.
With Akeem, yeah, but it doesn't matter because nobody else is going to the middle. That's my whole point. Who did you want? Who did you want again? You said instead of LeBron. Let me tell you why I don't need Tim Duncan. Because I got Shaq.
I know what you're saying, but let me say this.
Right. Greatest power forward ever.
This team
Tim
works
Duncan.
for today's era.
Right.
I will give you credit for that.
Right.
But if you're able to play under different rules, I like Tim Duncan on the block.
Fair enough. Fair enough. With different rules, with different rules, I would go with both of y'all picks.
Top 5 of all time. Who would you put? From point guard, small, shooting guard, small power.
I'll leave myself out, so I would take. No, because I'm gonna field that point guard, but I take Isaiah. I take Jordan at 2. I'm gonna take, to me, Larry Bird at 3.
Who was 1?
I would take Isaiah Thomas at 1.
Isaiah 1.
Yeah. Steph Curry got a lot of work to do, sir. Got a lot of work to do.
Wow, so you're Isaiah way.
He doesn't have the resume yet. He only got 1 championship.
Right.
He thinks he's the greatest point guard of all time. Well, no. So you got to have a full body of work, and then I'm gonna take Tim Duncan as my power forward, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the center.
He's one of the 10 greatest ever.
Right.
I got Michael 1, Oscar 2, Bill Russell.
Oscar 2?
Yeah. He got averaged a triple-double for the entire season.
Yeah, everyone took like 120 shots a game back then.
Well, y'all,
You would
LeBron
average a
had
triple-double in a season.
Hey, LeBron had a triple-double, and y'all went crazy. He didn't average one for the whole season.
You always say y'all, like I'm lumped into all these people.
You millennials. I'll call y'all millennials.
I'm not. I'm 46. How am I a
Y'all
millennial?
just make up names, too. There's no such thing as millennial. I got Kareem and Wilt.
Right.
I got Kobe and Tim Duncan. And LeBron is right there with Magic, Bird, Jerry West, and Elgin Baylor.
Top 5 players of all time. Mr. Buckets asked me about the top 5 players. That's tough. I don't like putting guys in there that's still playing because they still got a lot more to prove and a lot more to go. So if I may miss somebody that's playing right now, of course, Mr. LeBron James would be a top 5 player when he's done playing. So to exclude him because he's still playing, I would say Michael Jordan is 1. Kobe Bryant is 2. Magic Johnson is 3. I would go, it's so tough. Shaquille O'Neal is 4. He's just so dominant. I'm missing so many great players, so it's hard to say a top 5, but I would go, my last one, I would have to say Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, man, one of the greatest ever.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. So,
okay,
I'm gonna put myself as the point guard next to Magic. I'm gonna have Shaq at the center. I'm gonna have, who's gonna be my 3? I'm putting KD at my 3.
Did you just say that because it's your
I'm putting KD at
teammate?
my 3, and at the 4, Tim Duncan. So I got a dominant center. I got a 4 that can play inside out, knock down that 18-footer. He can even stretch a little bit with Tim Duncan.
Yes, I should. If I'm the coach, I could easily watch the game then. Yes.
Okay, and your 2 guard is
Michael Jordan.
all right. Your power forward.
Good question. I'm gonna go with Tim Duncan.
He keeps saying that he's not a forward, Jason. He's a center.
Well, I know Timmy a little bit, and I know he says he's not 7 feet either. So, he's gonna have to play power forward.
All right.
And I think he'll be fine with that.